Hey there, and welcome to My Opinion On. So in this week's episode we are going to talk about prison. If you want to have your subject in this weekly series, just leave it in the comment section below and I'll look what I can do. So yeah, let's talk about prison. So in prison for me there are three kinds of people. The first one is the kind of guy that, did something by accident. He committed a not so serious crime, I have no idea, like stealing an apple, for example. It's ridiculous that you go to prison for stealing an apple, but you get the point. A minor crime, something that isn't that important, and they go to prison. They're really sorry. They're probably already so freaking sorry while they're sitting in court that they can't bear their guilt. It's, that kind of guy. Those kinds, they go to prison sometimes because they commit some kind of ridiculous crime. They go to prison, and yeah. The second kind of guy is the guy that has a 50% chance to, do it again, to be guilty. It's the kind of guy that's standing on the edge of becoming a criminal or a good guy. And, you send those guys to prison too. They could have committed a minor crime or a serious crime, but yeah, they got a 50-50 chance. And the last kind of guy is the kind of guy that has no chance at all. That is already a criminal. He probably has a, a long record of different kinds of crimes, and the criminal record is just as thick as a telephone book from China. It's that kind of guy. They are evil most of the time, or they are, I don't know, they had a bad childhood, whoever cares. But yeah, so these are the three kinds of guys I think that go to prison. And for the last kind of guy, I think it is okay-ish to send them to prison, but it kind of doesn't make any sense at all. Because if you send someone to prison that doesn't feel guilt about what they've done, or they will come out eventually and just do it again, it's totally pointless to send them to prison. So, and most of them commit crimes that are very serious, like murder or raping a child or raping a woman, or something like that. And there is no real rehabilitation for people like that most of the time. I think probably 90% of the time there is no rehabilitation. And I'm just wondering, why the hell do you send them to prison? Even something like the death penalty seems to be more reasonable in that case, because sending someone to prison is so freaking expensive, and yeah, there is no point to send them there, because they won't recover from those crimes. They won't feel any kind of guilt for their whole life. So why to imprison them? Just because to keep them away from society? You could have done the same thing with, death, for example. It's very hard, but why the hell not? So the second kind of guy, that's a risk kind of guy, because if you send him to prison, he will be together with other criminals. And that's my main problem with prisons. They are one huge building just filled up with criminals, and I just don't know how that will help them to, rehabilitate. If you are stuck with hundreds and hundreds of criminals, I don't think there is any way you will, get any kind of guilt and feel that you should change your life. I just don't think so. That's the same thing if you put mentally insane people in one room. If you put enough of them in one room, they will probably freak out sometimes. They won't cure themselves just because they are together with people that are like them. That's just not the way it works. So I don't think prisons work in a favorable way towards, rehabilitation. That's just not what happens. So I think that probably those 50% guys or 50% chance guys that go to prisons, they will probably end up being even more dangerous criminals because they went to prison. And they could become one of the third kinds of guys. So yeah, it's not such a good idea. And for the first kind of guy, I don't think there is any reason at all to send them to prison. They just cost money, and a lot of money. You have to give them shelter, basically. You have to give them bed sheets and clothes and food and whatever. It just costs one hell of a lot of money for a guy that only committed a minor crime, and I don't see any point in that. You should probably just fine them with a huge amount of money. That would be way more, it would be made more effective, basically. It would be so much more effective, because I think most people are more scared of, paying a huge amount of money than going to prison, because in prison, basically, you're just locked up for a little time. I know it's hard in prison, but you are only locked up for a certain amount of time. You are, there is no damage done, basically. But if you have to pay, I don't know, $50,000, I would be freaking afraid to pay so much money. So yeah, that's way more effective in stopping people from committing crimes. So yeah, I don't think there is a reason for prison for those people. So as I said, the only real reason for prison could be the third kind of guy. And yeah, that's my take on prisons. What do you think about prisons? Do you think they are useful, or do you think they should be changed? The system should be changed? I don't know. Please leave it in the comment section below, and of course rate the video if you enjoyed it. And I'm sorry for my voice. My nose is a little bit stuffed and my voice is a little bit down, but yeah, I had to record this. So yeah, if you enjoyed this, please, as I said, leave a rating. And that was it for this time. I'm iLostLink, signing out.